This is the 2026 Nissan Rogue SV, a compact SUV that is worth considering. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're at Or Nissan in Shreveport, Louisiana for today's video. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. Here on the front end, we're going to find LED headlights and LED daytime running lights. You will find the Nissan badge. It's the right size, I'd say. Not too big, not too small. It fits in perfectly on this particular size of grille. We're gonna have a little bit of combination of gloss black and some chrome, but again, I think tastefully done. 18-inch wheels, and this model is front-wheel drive. However, if you want your Rogue SV in all-wheel drive, it is available. You will also find a spare tire. As far as your side view mirrors go, they are going to be manually folding. Will not have turn signal indicators built in, but what you will have is power adjustable side view mirrors. They're heated, and they're also going to have blind spot monitoring built in right there. We're gonna have the roof rails up top. Nice large windows, making it easy to see out of. There's our rear roof spoiler and the rear window wiper. LED taillights will finish things off here on the rear, and something that might be a little bit of a surprise to some people is that you do have a power tailgate on this SV trim level. That's going to make things a little bit easier, and right underneath here is where we find the spare tire. Under the hood is the 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that puts out 201 horsepower and 225 pounds-feet of torque. It will be mated to an Xtronic CVT. How about your MPGs? We're looking at 29 city, 36 highway, 32 combined, and 3.1 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. 0 to 60, about 8 seconds flat, top speed 132 miles per hour. The gas tank size comes in at 14.5 gallons. On a full tank of gas, you should be able to drive about 420 miles in the city. That number jumps to about 522 miles out on the highway. Here is your remote. You're going to find remote start, lock, unlock. You can open and close your power tailgate and hit the panic button when you need to do that. Cargo capacity comes in at 36.5 up to 74.1 cubic feet. When you lower the seat backs flat, as I have done right there, you'll have a little bit of storage space behind the fender wells on each side to help out with things. And a panoramic sunroof. We haven't talked about that yet. There it is. There's a power shade that can be drawn forward if you want to conceal that away, not have so much heat coming into the interior, and the front portion will open. When it comes to your power tailgate, if you need to change the height, let's say it's too low, such as it seems to be right now, for somebody that height might actually work, depends on your situation, where you're parking. But if I wanted to maximize the opening height, I'm gonna push it all the way up like that and hold this button on the left and listen for the beeps. And now, when I open the tailgate again, it's going to open up to that preset height. And it's just as easy as moving it back into place wherever you want it to be, whether it's higher or lower, and holding that button down again. Now, that button also works to close the tailgate, or if you want to close the tailgate and lock the interior, that's what this button is for. Let's talk about what your second row passengers are going to find. You have the privacy shades on each door that can be moved into place or out of place, just like that. There's also one over there on the passenger side. We'll find the nice comfortable armrest and the door bin right there with a reasonable amount of space for a compact SUV. We'll find the singular seat pocket on the rear of the passenger seat, but something that I know a lot of people want to check off when it comes to important items to have: air conditioning vents and USB connectivity for your rear seat passengers. And we'll also find the fold-down armrest with the cup holders built in. If you're curious about how things look from this vantage point as far as the panoramic sunroof goes, here is your view. If the rear armrests and door bins on those back doors are not big enough, well, we have the larger versions here. For the front doors, for the driver and the passenger, you will find a manually adjustable passenger seat, but a power adjustable driver's seat, and the pass-through right there that offers some additional storage space. That's always convenient. And here is the space within the glove box. One thing I didn't talk about was the button right here that allows you to lock and unlock the interior on the front door handles. Now, it's only on the front door handles, in case you are curious, not on the rear. On the driver's seat, you will find controls for adjusting the seat. It is power adjustable, and the control right here is for lumbar support. The sticker price is $34,950. Here is the control for your power shade for your panoramic sunroof, and you'll use this to open and close the sunroof. You can see what else is here as far as turning your lights on for your interior, and your SOS button right there. You also have a sunglass holder right here, nice and convenient. And we'll have everything here for controlling our door locks, power mirrors, and windows, power windows. You only have an express one touch down, one touch up for the driver's door window only. The control right here, or release I should say, allows you to adjust your tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel and steering assist. That is going to be this button right here if you want that on or off. And you can see right there, you can open and close the power tailgate. And we'll have our shifter paddles on the back of the steering wheel, control for your front and rear window wipers, and your headlights and taillight control right here. You can just set that to auto, no big deal. You also have your turn signal lever right here if you know how to use your blinkers, for those of you that do. Everything for cruise control right here. You can see voice commands and all the other things that are here. And you can adjust the volume and what you're listening to right here. We can also push that button right there and go in and change our audio source if we want to, or we can go right here and scroll through with that scroll wheel a few different things. Now, we can also use the arrows. That allows us to go through a lot more. Depending on what you need to see, your tire pressure will be right here while driving. And then you've got audio. You can see everything else that is going on here. To go into settings, we push the scroll wheel right there, and we're going to be able to scroll through and see all of our different settings depending on what we need to do. If you need to change your clock, whatever it is you need to do, there it is. There's vehicle settings. All of that stuff is going to be there, and then we can arrow back out of that just like that. But for those who want something other than the digital speedometer that you can have here if you want, you also have your analog gauges for the tachometer on the left and the speedometer on the right. And how about the center screen? Fairly simplistic. There's not a lot going on here with this 8-inch screen, but depending on what you need to do, you can scroll through and get to everything right there. When we go into reverse, you'll see your rear view camera. Now, that's the only camera here, but it is here. Nice to know. You can adjust the volume here, what we're listening to here. You can also adjust what you're listening to down here. Got quite a few things going on that you can work with. And then if you want to bring the camera information up right here, depending on what you want to do, predictable course lines can be turned on and off, and your display settings are right here. So depending on what you want to do, you can make some adjustments. If you're not happy, if that's not bright enough for you, then you can actually go in and adjust things. See, that's getting better now. I would want to leave it there personally. You can change contrast, tint, color, and your black level. So there we go with that, with your touch screen. You can pair your smartphone here if you need to. You do have your 12-volt power outlet and a couple of USB ports right here. The button to start and stop the engine, your dual zone climate control, and you also have heated seats for the driver and the passenger. A heated steering wheel right there. That's the button to turn that on and off. And you can see some of the other functions that are here as far as if you want to sync both zones together, you can do that. The shifter works well because it fits nicely in the palm of my hand. I like that. You just push the button on the side to go into drive or to go into reverse, or we push the button right there to go into park. Your power parking brake is here. Auto hold, if you don't want that on, just make sure that light is not illuminated. That's when you come to a complete stop, and the brakes do not disengage until you touch the gas pedal again. And how about D mode? That's your drive mode selector. You can even see the D mode selector right there to the left of your driving mode. You're going to have standard, eco, and then we're going to have sport. And also Bombay doors. Kind of like a Mercedes-Benz, but not really. But you do have the Bombay doors here and a little bit of space within the center console. All right, here we go on the test drive with the Nissan Rogue. And while it's most certainly not the most powerful thing on the road, you might be surprised that it does a good job of getting up to speed when you need it to. It's not neck-snapping performance, but at the same time, it is going to get the job done for what it is and for what you need if this is something you're going to buy. It does have a nice, comfortable ride quality. The seats themselves seem to be pretty comfortable. You have the leatherette-wrapped steering wheel that is also comfortable. A lot of adjustability built in between the driver's seat and the steering wheel itself. I have a lot of head space here, so I feel confident in saying that if you're really tall, you're not going to have any trouble adjusting things to where you're nice and comfortable. And if you're not so tall, you still can adjust things to where it shouldn't be a problem, because you can raise and lower the height of the seat. So that's going to be helpful in a multitude of ways. Everything is easy to get to and learn. And one thing that's nice for those that are looking for maybe the most simplified infotainment screen, the center screen, you definitely have that here. It's not an overload of information to have to learn and figure out how to use. And here's an advantage: you have a nice tight turning radius if that's something you need. And for those of you who live in those climates where you deal with snow more often than not throughout the year, well, you also have advantages there as well, because you can go with all-wheel drive with this Rogue if that's something you need. Overall, a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. Easy to manage gas and brake pedal. The second row does offer a reasonable amount of space for a compact SUV, and you have even more right here in the front. And depending on what you need, there are other trim levels available. So depending on your situation, how much money you want to spend, you can choose accordingly. And there it is, the 2026 Nissan Rogue SV, a compact SUV worth considering. Tell me what you think down in the comments section. I'm always curious to receive your feedback. What do you think is missing, if anything at all? I'd like to say a special thanks to my friends at Nissan for loaning me this Rogue for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. Please be sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.